Marsha and I worked for the same company. She was working as a waiter for Charles. I used to walk in and she used to run to the back. I'd come in and say, "Hello, Miss Marsha." She said, "Oh, Miss Sylvia, I have customers." She'd have her hands full of plates, her arms. And she'd run and she'd say, "You got my check today?" I said, "Oh, lay down." I mean, and this is the way, any store that she worked in, anytime I walked in, we'd scream and we'd holler. But sometimes, she'd be very busy. Like, she'd try to ignore me, But I wouldn't let her out. "Oh, Miss Marsha, you don't do that to me. I'll read you." I tell Miss Sylvia, "Go on about your business." First time I met Marsha was it was a Halloween, and she was in full drag, and she was still living out in New Jersey. And she came, I guess, from the bus station. And back then, I mean, there was literally the majority of the people on 42nd Street were all drag queens at night anyway. Just damn groups of 20 and 30, all around the block,
What, in this 42nd Street between where? 8th and 9th?
7th and 8th, and all around where the Times building is. That whole block was ours.
Yeah.
That was ours. At nighttime, that was ours. Okay, so Marsha came out of the subway station. I guess she took the shortcut from the Port Authority. And we were all standing there in mass. The majority of us was Spanish. And one Spanish queen named Luisa says, "Look at Miss Marsha." We're rattling off in Spanish. And she says, "Look at Miss Marsha, I'm going to steal her wig." This Spanish queen stole Miss Marsha's wig. And Miss Marsha just stood there and said, "Oh no, that will not do." So she runs after the queen, and here we're all banding together to see who's going to kill who, which one's going to beat the shit out of each other. So we went up through the streets, we were picking up more people, it was about 100 of us. And we stopped traffic and we crossed the street. I think she finally caught her up by Bryant Park. And she laid it to her. She says, "Don't you ever." And she just beat this child. And we all just stood there and gasped. She says, "Don't you ever steal my wig again." She was panhandling one day on 8th Avenue, and I was coming down the street. She says, "Miss Sylvia, don't go up to 42nd Street." I said, "Why?" She says, "They're picking up queens left and right." I said, "Oh, well, they won't follow me." I said, "They don't know me." I said, "Miss Sylvia, don't go up there." And me, stubborn Sylvia, gotta go up there. And I'm walking down the street, I bump into another Spanish queen named Chicky. I said, "Miss Marsha said they're busting people." She says, "Yeah, I just heard that. Let's get out of here." Because the street was very empty, and that's what frightened me, She says, "Yeah, let's get out of here." So we start walking. All of a sudden she says, "Walk a little faster. They're coming." I said, "Who's coming?" She says, "The bulls, I'm saying, where? This is my first experience, I'm saying, where? I don't see nobody. Next thing I know, they're taking us into a hallway.
Really?
In between a movie theater and a hot dog stand in the middle of 42nd Street, between 7th and 8th Avenue.
So Marsha's, you haven't been in as much as Marsha.
Oh, no,
Marsha seems like it's a revolving door for Marsha.
She revolves in and out. It's unfortunate.
What do you think is it that makes Marsha so unique?
She lets her hair down anytime,
She
anywhere, any
does
day.
not give a fuck about nothing. Nothing will stop her.
Mm-hmm.
No one can say nothing to her.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like about Marsha, and I think that's why she's so unique. And her voice. "Well, honey, my name is Marsha P. Johnson, and the P stands for Piola." That's the name I used to give her. Because I used to ask her, "What's the P for?" She said, "I don't know, it just sounds good." I said, "Okay, Piola, that will be your name now."
She told me last night it was for Pay It No Mind.
That's the change.
Yeah, no, she said she
Pay
uses
it no
that.
mind. Well, that's her too, because she pays nothing no more.
Yeah, that's right.
I have seen Marsha take her last money and feed her dogs and cats short ribs and stuff while she was starving. Because she said, "A dumb animal can't fend for himself, and I can get out on the block and get it for them." This is Marsha. And you tell her you need some money, and if she has it, she'll give it to you. And every time I see her, "You got any change?" A couple couple of dollars, whatever. Buy a couple of drinks. Oh, Miss Sylvia, you're so nice to me. And I said, oh, Miss Bitch, shut up. I said, you've always given me stuff when I needed it.
Yeah.
She was there when I had a big problem. When I was on drugs, she was there. She helped. And like Marsha, there'll never be another Marsha. Marsha's, like I said before, she's like part of my family. I don't have a family except grandmother and I love her here. That's it. There's nobody like Marsha.
Yeah.
She's the person.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way, man. If you're at a party or you're bored, she'll brighten the day right up. The day will become grand.
She'll never let anyone be depressed. Everything that comes out of her mouth, just the way she talks will make somebody just laugh and feel good.
Yeah.
I mean laughing at her.
No, I know.
Yeah, and she's such a camp when she gets going.
Yeah.
I mean, she really is.
Yeah.